What is up, you awesome human beings? I'm going to run you through in this video exactly how we helped Adam Nash triple his testosterone, beat his opioid addiction, get off the couch, get through his anxiety, get through his depression, start being the father that he wanted to be, start being the husband that he wanted to be, and just get his life back as a man. When Adam came to us, he was super broken. He was coming off a back injury, which just left him debilitated. The doctors didn't know how to help him. There was nothing that they could do to fix him. He was just getting loaded up on painkillers, and it was costing him his life. He couldn't get off the couch. His friends thought that he was turning into a weirdo. He blew a whole heap of friendships. He was the reason why his relationship was going down the gurgler. His missus is an amazing person, but he just wasn't able to be the partner that she needed, that she wanted. In terms of with his kids, he just wasn't able to play with them or be with them how he wanted to be. And so he reached out to us and we got him better. And we did all this in 10 weeks, right? We tripled his testosterone, helped him beat the addiction, got over his anxiety, got over his depression, get off the couch, go back to crushing work. And the guy is absolutely dominating life. He's an amazing human being, one of my favorite clients that I've ever had. I'm gonna run you through exactly how he did this for Adam, okay? So step number one, the very first thing that we worked on with Adam was his sleep. Right? And this is always a really important place to start. Adam wasn't sleeping terribly well. He might have been sleeping a lot, he might have been resting a lot, but he wasn't actually resting well. There's a very big difference between sleeping a lot and sleeping well. And that's the first place we started. We want to make his sleep of a far better quality. Now, if you've seen any of our videos before and you're familiar with how we work, we always operate off something we call the hierarchy of health, and I'm going to run you through this now. Right at the bottom, we have what's called the nervous system. Right? The nervous system is like the brain and all the nerves that come from the brain and control the body. It controls the way that we feel, the way that we think, the way that we act, every single movement, every single function within the body. Now, what happens is if we break this up into two areas, the parasympathetic nervous system, the PSNS, and the sympathetic nervous system, that's an N, take my word for it, right? What happens in a lot of us is that when we get stressed, when we get anxious, when we have feelings of insufficiency, we're not enough, we're not good enough, and we have all this sort of stuff, potentially you not being cared for as the way that we'd like to as a child, or being bullied through school, or things like that have happened, or bullied in the workplace, for example, we end up going into this state of what we call fight or flight, where it's very stressful. Life isn't very fun. And what happens in this state is adrenaline goes up and cortisol goes up. These are two stress hormones. And this has an immense effect throughout the whole body. And one of the big things that this does is this stops us from sleeping well. You'll often feel like, okay, you could be in bed for 8 to 10 hours in a night, but you'll wake up the next day feeling like you've hardly slept at all. You'll feel like you're tossing and turning, a super light sleeper, just always tired and never feeling good. So what we always do with anybody who ever comes and works with us, we look to shift them from being sympathetic dominant, sitting in the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, the stressed out state, and we push them here into the parasympathetic nervous system. So how do we do that? Well, the way that we do this is through a number of things. The very first one is through meditation and also breath work. These are really important. Now, the easiest thing that I get you guys to do, and this is exactly what we got Adam to do as well, is to start doing breath work every single day. Now, you don't have to be a freaking monk and sit there and like or anything like that. No, it's super simple. All you need to do is this. Number one, go out and find somewhere which is dark, which is quiet, where you can just be with yourself and be with your thoughts. And then number two, we're just going to take you through some box breathing, right? Box breathing is a very simple, easy breath that I recommend everybody does. What it involves is this. Breathe in through your nose for 5 seconds. Hold for 5 seconds. Breathe out through your nose or through your mouth, whatever you prefer, for 5 seconds. And then hold for 5 seconds again. You can do this as many times as you like through the day, and the best part is that it's going to make you very chilled out, very relaxed, and very calm. Now, interestingly, what effect this has when we start doing meditation and breath work, your sleep gets better because you're way calmer. When you're in this parasympathetic nervous system state, you become way more chill, way more relaxed, and your head stops racing. One of the big reasons why people don't sleep very well is because our head is always on. If you look at what we're doing through the day, we're always playing with a screen, we're always doing something, we're always thinking, we're thinking about the money that we owe, we've got debts, we've got mortgages, we've got kids to look after, partners to look after, we've got jobs which are stressful, your boss is a dick. You just don't feel like you ever get a chance to be in your own head and to be relaxed and to be calm. And so by doing the meditation and breath work, it brings us back into this. The second thing after this is we made Adam really, really present. What I mean by being present, and sounds a little bit woo-woo and a little bit hippie, and I guess it is, but we made him really, really present. And by present, I'm referring to focusing on the now, not on the future, not on the past. There are 3 time frames. I'm just going to draw it out like this, and hopefully this makes sense, right? So we have the past, we have the now, and then we have the future. Whenever we live in the future, we get anxiety. And I'll explain why this is. We're living in the future, we're thinking about what can go wrong, what's going to happen. We're always thinking about the next thing that we have to do. For example, have you ever noticed that whenever you set an alarm in the morning, you often don't sleep as well? Or if you've got an early meeting, you won't sleep as well that night because you know you've got an early meeting, you're just thinking about that, right? It's the same thing. Whenever we are focusing and thinking on all the stuff in the future, and we're always living in the future, it's very, very stressful, and we get anxiety. And whenever we get anxiety, what happens? Oh, we boost the sympathetic nervous system, which in turn increases adrenaline, increases cortisol, decreases sleep, right? So that's the first thing. The next thing, if we're ever living in the past, that's when we start to get depressed, because that's when things like regret kick in. Regret, I should have done this, I should have done that, and that's equally as stressful. Have you ever had a situation with someone where maybe you've had conflict and you've had an argument with them, and then after you've had that argument, it's all said and done, maybe you'll be in the shower, you'll be in the car or something like that, and your head will just be running non-stop on what you should have done. I should have said this, I should have said that, that would have got them, I would have shown them then if I did that, right? You know what I'm talking about? That's also really, really stressful, because you'll be able to feel yourself as you're going through and doing this. I was a big offender of this, by the way, back in the day. If you will feel yourself as you're running this through your head over and over and over again, how stressful it is. So once again, adrenaline goes up, cortisol goes up, sleep goes down, right? What we need to do is we need to make sure that we're living right here in the now. It's really important, because that is when we can be truly calm. The second thing that we did with Adam, right, is we worked through his anxiety. Now, obviously, reducing his sympathetic nervous system activity was a really, really big help with this, but we also did a couple of other things too. Next, the big thing in terms of reducing his anxiety is we helped him sort out, who does he want to be? And we call this identity. Who do you want to be as a human being? How do you want to act as a man? How do you want to be as a father, as a husband, as a worker? How do you want to be? When you look in the mirror, what do you want to see? And this is a really, really important one that we put a lot of emphasis on, because if you don't know who you are and you don't have a goal, it's very, very different. And then moving on from that, the next thing is setting a summit. So this is kind of the same thing. When we talk about the summit, we talk about it like this. So this is you down here, and then here's the goal, and then what we have is a gap. So right now you have you in the way that you act, the way that you think, the person that you are, the job that you had, the income that you make, the way that you look. This is where you are right now, down the bottom, and this is where you want to be. And we map this out and understand what actions we need to take to bridge this gap. And at the same time, it's always really important to have your compass and to find out, what are your morals? What are your ethics? What are your values? How do you want to live your life? For example, I'll give you a big one. We work with a lot of guys who are high net worth individuals. So a lot of guys who are very, very successful, a lot of salespeople, a lot of guys who run big businesses, a lot of guys who they've got a lot on their plate. They've got more money than God, but they're still not happy. And what often happens with these guys is they've set a goal and they've achieved that goal, but they've forgotten how to do it in a way which is in alignment with their values. And they've sacrificed things like family, like social life, like their health, things that are actually really important to them, things that they can't necessarily get back terribly easily, or not terribly easily with money anyway. And what we do is we help them to realign this. And so we make it so they actually look at what are the things that are important. So with Adam, what we did is we went through and we looked at where he is right now. You're an opioid addict with low testosterone, sitting on the couch, not being a good dad, not being a good husband. Where do you want to be? You want to be an absolute animal of a man. You want to be the best dad ever. You want to be an awesome worker. You want to be a loving, caring husband. You want to be a man, a real man. That's what he wanted to do. And so what we did is we mapped this out and we set out his goal, we set out his values, and then we helped him take the required actions in order to dominate. Then the next thing that we went through and we looked at is we started looking at his diet and his exercise. Now, we didn't do anything crazy here, but what we did is we made it consistent. A lot of people think that you've got to go paleo or vegan and all this sort of stuff. And to be truthful, that's all just over-marketed garbage. You'll see a lot of fitness and health trainers and PTs and all that sort of stuff saying you need to be carnivore, you need to be vegan, you need to be paleo. The issue that this creates is that it creates inconsistency. There's a rule which we live by, which is if you can't do something for a lifetime, don't do it for a day. And the reason why we say this is because if you are going to start something like a diet and you couldn't do that diet for the rest of your life, what's going to happen? Well, here's what happens with most people. Most people, as time goes along, if they do a normal diet, their success will go up. And then what will happen after that is they'll fall back down and they'll begin making this yo-yo pattern, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We don't want that. Right? What we want is we want them to always be like this. And so we set Adam a really simple, easy diet and training plan to follow that he could do every single day. And he still does to this very day. And that is why he's been able to maintain such massive, massive results over an extended period of time. Now, if we then look at the next one, we look at his test, how we managed to boost that. Because tripling your testosterone, and yes, we have bloods to actually validate this. Like I'm not pulling this number out of my ass. We literally have the blood test to show that we tripled his testosterone in 10 weeks. With testosterone, the key thing here is always managing cortisol. And here's why. Testosterone and cortisol are inversely proportionate. When cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. When cortisol goes down, testosterone goes up. They're inversely proportionate. They weigh each other out. And with Adam, because you were so stressed and you were stuck in this sympathetic state, he couldn't have good testosterone. He just physically couldn't do it. He wasn't sleeping well. He wasn't recovering well. His cortisol was super high. His adrenaline was super high. Nothing was working well for him. So what we started doing is with the whole nervous system function, the thing that we work on there with the nervous system, we managed to bring his cortisol down. We got him sleeping better. We got him meditating, doing breath work, diet, training, all that sort of stuff. And then his testosterone levels managed to triple over the 10 weeks, which is a really, really massive result. And so if you are listening to any of this and it resonates with you at all, if you feel that something like this could be helpful for you, I've got something for you which could be really, really helpful. We have a free Facebook group called the High Performance Men Community. And what we do in there is we teach you guys exactly how to do this. You'll be able to meet guys like Adam. You'll be able to meet guys who have coached, who have been through a whole heap of stuff, maybe similar to what you're going through, and have come out on the other end and they're absolutely dominating. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link in there below in the description for you to access. On top of this too, I'm also going to put in a call booking link so that you can book in a chat and you can have a chat with myself, one of my crew, free of charge, right? We do a lot of this. We are very, very fortunate in the position that we're in that we actually have the time and the capacity to be able to chat with other people for free of charge. So you can slot in, you can have a chat with us for 30 minutes and we can go through and figure out exactly what you need to do and help you set out a game plan. If you feel that we could help you, if you feel that we could give you value and you think that you're in a stage where you don't want to sit where you are at the moment, you want to be better, you want to be a better man, you want to be a better husband, you want to be a better father, you want to be a better employee or a better businessman, you want to make more money, you want to have more success. If you want to get the same results as what Adam has got, then just slot in a call. I'll be more than happy to chat with you and help you out. Now, I hope this video has helped you out, guys. Make sure that if you haven't already, click the like button, click the subscribe button, because I'm going to have loads more of this information coming out, which is going to be super beneficial. I'm going to run you through it step by step, exactly what we do for our clients, how we get results, and how you can do the exact same thing too. Click the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys. It's a pleasure as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of it and you want to learn more, click the link below or type in High Performance Conversations with James Cant and you'll be able to check out all the podcasts that we've done. We cover a stack of different topics, everything from getting your mojo back, overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, self-esteem, and learning from some of the industries and some of the world's top performers in both business and in health. Look forward to having you on there.